One of the things I love about WWE is the fact that anything can happen at any moment. The word never has no meaning in the world of WWE. The WWE universe has been shocked on countless occasions where we thought a moment was impossible and that there was no chance of it happening. But, like I said, never say never in WWE, and these moments actually happened in front of our very eyes. With that being said, let's look at 10 WWE moments that we never thought would happen. Quick disclaimer here, there are countless moments in WWE that we never saw coming. So if your favorite moment is not in this list, it may be in part 2, but only if you guys do us a huge favor by hitting that like and subscribe button. Now this is in no particular order, but number 10, Daniel Bryan returning from retirement. The leader of the Yes Movement, Daniel Bryan, took the wrestling world by storm as the Yes Movement grew bigger and bigger, leading to Daniel Bryan overcoming the odds and winning the WWE Undisputed World Championship at WrestleMania 30, when he overcame Triple H early in the night to get his shot in the triple threat match against Batista and Randy Orton. Unfortunately, after a series of concussions, Daniel Bryan was forced to retire in 2016. In this very moment, it seemed as if we had seen the last of Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan would seek further medical treatment and opinions to get a second chance, but nothing worked. It got to the point where Daniel Bryan was trying to get himself fired so that he could work the indies.
Remember the old SmackDown set, but there used to be a giant fist, and I was like, man, SmackDown is really into fisting. Bruh.
That was until 2018 when Daniel Bryan announced that he was cleared to wrestle. So at WrestleMania 34, we got Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. Yes, Shane McMahon found a way to get himself in Daniel Bryan's first match back, but it was Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan taking on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. What a moment this was. Something we'll never forget. Number 9, Jinder Mahal as WWE Champion. Okay, most of these moments on the list were enjoyable moments, but not this one. In 2017, WWE did the unthinkable and made Jinder Mahal the WWE Champion. You heard me right. This very Jinder Mahal, was the WWE Champion. WWE was trying to grow the Indian market, but it simply failed, and maybe it was due to the fact that they're trying to grab the attention of Indian fans by making all of the Indian wrestlers bad guys. Jinder would go on to hold the title for 170 days, a painful 170 days, before AJ Styles became the biggest babyface in history when he ended this misery of a title run. Just the idea of Jinder Mahal being a WWE champion is a moment that we will never forget and a moment that we never saw coming. Number 8 is WWE Working with TNA. For a long time, WWE was in its own bubble, away from the wrestling world. No mention of other promotions, no wrestlers going between promotions. It was WWE and nothing else. But that was until the 2022 Royal Rumble, where we saw Mickie James make a surprise entrance while she was the Impact Knockouts World Champion. This was an absolute shock to WWE fans, and WWE opening the forbidden door was unheard of. At the 2024 Royal Rumble, we'd see Jordynne Grace, the TNA Knockouts Champion, make an entrance and make a statement in the Royal Rumble match.
Jordynne Grace? What? What? Jordynne Grace? What?
The TNA Knockouts
I thought I read that.
Jordynne Grace is in the Royal Rumble.
Holy sh!
This wouldn't be the last time we saw Jordynne Grace, as she would make an appearance on NXT where she challenged and took on the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. And no, this is not a one-sided deal, as WWE sent NXT superstar Tatum Paxley to challenge Jordynne Grace at the recent Against All Odds show that TNA held. And that's not where this ends either, as we saw Frankie Kazarian and Joe Hendry enter a battle royale on NXT for a shot at the NXT Championship. WWE Working with TNA was truly a moment we never saw coming, and I don't think we've seen the last of this partnership. Number 7 was Edge returning at the Royal Rumble. The Rated R superstar Edge was forced to retire from in-ring action in 2012 due to a severe spinal injury, where one wrong move could have left him paralyzed. It was thought that he'd never return to the squared circle, and that would mean Edge would go on to make movies and carry on his life until the 2020 Royal Rumble. It was time for the 21st entrants to make their way to the match. The countdown started, and then this happened.
You think you know me?
No way. Oh my!
Edge made his shocking return to pro wrestling, and the best part about it is nobody knew it was happening. This might be the greatest return of all time, simply for the fact that it took 9 years for this to happen. This moment brought me back to my childhood and is a moment I'll never forget. But more importantly, it's a moment we never saw coming. Number 6 was Stone Cold Steve Austin making an in-ring return. Almost 20 years after Stone Cold had his last match at WrestleMania 19 against The Rock, we somehow had a return of Stone Cold Steve Austin in the main event of WrestleMania 38 Night 1. Kevin Owens had been making a mockery of Texas, where Stone Cold Steve Austin is from, and Stone Cold himself in the weeks leading up to WrestleMania, which led to the fans wondering if the impossible is possible. WWE had been trying to get Stone Cold back for years, and they finally made it happen as Kevin Owens and Stone Cold had a no-holds-barred match at WrestleMania. This is truly a moment we never thought we'd see. Number 5, Cody Rhodes returning to WWE. At this point, we all know the story of Cody Rhodes. He went from undesirable to undeniable, and he did this by betting on himself and leaving the WWE. But let's just say he wasn't the kindest to WWE in his time away. Cody went as far as creating WWE's biggest competitors since WCW in All Elite Wrestling. It seemed as if Cody had set his path in stone. He was now an anti-WWE guy and All Elite for life, or so he thought. In 2022, Cody Rhodes revealed that himself and his wife Brandi Rhodes had parted ways with AEW, which came as a shock to the wrestling world. But then the world's worst kept secret was born. Seth Rollins didn't have an opponent going into WrestleMania, and Vince had told him he may have found someone for him, but he'll have to wait for WrestleMania. So Seth made his entrance, and we wait. As the lights go out, Pyro runs down the ramp, and we hear,
"Wrestling has more than one.
Cody Rhodes has returned. And not as Stardust, not as Dashing Cody, but the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. After all he did to compete with WWE, just to join them. This was a moment we never thought we'd see. And honestly, I'm glad it happened. But we'll get to that. Number 4, an all-women's WrestleMania main event. For a long time, pro wrestling was a male-dominated sport. In fact, there were parts of WWE's history where they didn't even have female wrestlers on their roster. However, in 2024, female wrestlers are an integral part of the show. Women's wrestling has moved from silly matches which saw the women as sex objects to serious feuds and stories just like the men. One of the moments which truly solidified this change was at WrestleMania 35, where the main event was Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. Oh, and Charlotte Flair was thrown into the match as well, but let's not get into that. WWE didn't make this main event just to promote gender equality, but rather because the woman earned the spot. Becky Lynch was the hottest wrestler in the world at this point, with her new The Man gimmick. And of course, Ronda Rousey was a big star as well. The women were the main event of WrestleMania, which, if you told any fan from years prior, they would have thought you were crazy. This truly was a moment we never thought would happen. Number 3, Roman Reigns' iconic title run comes to an end. Roman Reigns is the icon of this era. In 20 years' time, Roman Reigns and his title run will be what people remember the most from this era. The moment Roman Reigns returned and turned heel, till the very end, was a complete masterclass in pro wrestling. However, all good things must come to an end. But for a very long time during his reign, it seemed as though the moment of him losing the WWE Undisputed World Championship would never come. Everybody had tried, from John Cena, Drew McIntyre, Edge, Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, and even his own blood in Jey Uso, but nobody could do it. It even took the man himself, the current WWE champion, multiple attempts to defeat the Tribal Chief. But at WrestleMania 40, the moment happened. In what may go down as the greatest WrestleMania main event, Cody Rhodes managed to defeat Roman Reigns after a 4-year-long title reign. 1,316 days. I repeat, 1,316 days. This was a moment which had grown men crying for both Cody's win and because of the end of an era with Roman Reigns losing. This truly was a moment we never thought would happen. Number 2, CM Punk returning to WWE. CM Punk famously walked out of WWE in 2014 after finally having enough of the way he was being treated both creatively and medically. Punk would claim for years that WWE ruined his love for pro wrestling and that he had retired from the sport.
Do you think there's ever a chance we'll see you back in a squared circle?
No.
Never?
No.
Wow.
Never, ever. Never, ever, ever.
Are you sure about that?
This was until AEW founder Tony Khan came to CM Punk with a blank check, leading to his shocking return to pro wrestling in 2021. In 2022, CM Punk found himself in an altercation backstage with AEW executives after this infamous promo.
And the fact that I have to sit up here because we have irresponsible people who call themselves EVPs and couldn't fucking manage a target, and they spread lies and bullshit and put into a media that I got somebody fired when I have fuck all to do with him, want nothing to do with him, do not care where he works, where he doesn't work, where he eats, where he sleeps. And the fact that I have to get up here and do this in 2022 is fucking embarrassing. And if y'all are at fault, fuck you. If you're not, I apologize. But what did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed fucking dumb fuck like Hangman Adam Page to go out on national television and fucking go into business for himself? For what? What did I do, Dave? What did I ever do? Didn't do a goddamn thing.
CM Punk would ultimately be suspended due to this, but would make a short-lived return before putting another wrestler half his size in a headlock backstage, which would get CM Punk fired. This is where the moment we never thought would happen comes into play. At Survivor Series 2023, which just happens to be taking place in Chicago, the home of CM Punk, we witness an amazing War Games match with Randy Orton even making his long-awaited return from injury. The babyface team gets the win, the signature to end the show pops up, and we think it's done. But then we hear CM Punk is back in WWE. What a moment. The crowd went crazy with one of the biggest pops I have ever heard. This was truly a moment we never thought would happen after all the trash talk from both sides over the years. And the number one WWE moment we never thought would happen is the streak ending. For a long time, there was one thing a WWE fan could be sure on, and that was an Undertaker win at WrestleMania. It did not matter if it was against the world's strongest man Mark Henry in a casket match, a 7-foot monster in Giant Gonzalez, Mr. WrestleMania himself Shawn Michaels, or Triple H in a Hell in a Cell. The outcome would remain the same. And that's The Undertaker with a victory. On 21 different occasions, The Undertaker had won at WrestleMania, without a single loss. That was until Brock Lesnar did the unthinkable and ended the iconic streak, which The Undertaker had held for years. A streak which fans thought would never end was now 21-1. And that was our look at 10 WWE moments that you never thought would happen. If you enjoyed this, please do us a favor and press that like button below, as it really helps the video reach other WWE fans just like you. If you'd like to see a part 2 of this video, let us know in the comments some of your moments you never saw coming. Thanks for watching, guys.